G'day, Ben here, and in this video I'm going to have a quick chat to you about whether or not you need to be a company. Now, theoretically, I'm going to start this off with a disclaimer. I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not really able to advise you on whether or not you need to be a company. Having said that, my experience, my personal experience, the reasons I've started an actual company over being just a sole trader is when I know that it's going to be bigger than just a small operation, you know. So there are some benefits to being a company, and you really probably need to look at your personal circumstance and talk to your accountant to make a thorough decision. But I can definitely share my thoughts on it. I think if you have other assets or investments, it could be an idea to have a company because that would sort of shield you a little bit if something was to go wrong. I think if you're going to grow a business past beyond the point of just being a small income for yourself, you may consider being a company because then there are some benefits in the way that the company can make purchases and assets and liabilities. All those things get handled a little bit differently. Company tax rate is lower than a personal tax rate is after a certain point, which means you can retain the earnings in the company, reinvest it in, and you'll pay a lower tax rate on that money rather than personally taking the money, because you're forced to. If you're not a company, you're forced to declare the money as yours. By my knowledge anyway. Once again, like I said at the beginning, I'm not an accountant, so I can't truly give you solid advice. Once again, these are just my thoughts and opinions. But it's a question that I got asked was, do I need to be a company? You know, if you're serious about growing a big business, I would suggest it's probably something that you need to look at. Go and talk to your accountant. Get some sort of advice based on your personal circumstance. You know, I'm not even going to risk trying to answer the question whether this is what you definitely should do. Because otherwise I may end up telling you some information, misinforming you with some information. Now, having said all of that, having a company is a responsibility. Being a director of a company brings a whole bunch of new responsibilities. You've got filing that you've got to do on a regular basis. Annually, you've got to file company statements. You know, as a director, you become, you know, you pretty much become liable for everything that's going on. Not that you're not on your own anyway, but it's a little bit more structured, a little bit more legal, a little bit more, you know, enforced as a company director. The other thing is you know, as a company, there's other expenses as well. So it's more expensive to do your tax return. It's more expensive to set up. It can be more difficult to set things up because you want to set them up in a company name. You know, setting up bank accounts and phone accounts and buying equipment, all of that becomes a little bit more difficult. So you've really got to sort of make that decision. Am I going to just be a sole sort of practitioner or person or individual that trades my time for money and earns a salary? Or am I going to grow something that's multi-million-dollar where I may want to issue shares to other people or you know, have, you know, it just depends. There's so many different variables that it really does depend. So if you're just looking to be an individual and get an income and trade your time for money on a small level, probably not something that you want to go to the trouble of, because like I said, there's an expense, there's extra work, there's, you know, it's a lot more extra work in fact than just a personal tax return. But if you're somebody who's looking to build a bigger business and you think you may want to issue shares in the future to other people, you think it's going to be a multi-million-dollar business, you know, then definitely have a look at the viability of whether or not you should be a company. Hopefully that's helped you. I know I haven't given you any solid answer there. I don't think anybody will in a YouTube video because they won't know your personal circumstance. If anything, it at least gives you some sort of idea of the way I think about it. Go and talk to your accountant. They're the best people to give you the advice. If you've got any questions or comments, or if you are an accountant, maybe you could leave some comments underneath the video to help answer this question. Until next time, have a profitable day.